Hello, the game has started. It's me to go first. I've got the blank, which is great, but I've got no vowels and nothing great with the blank as a vowel, so I'm going to change. And I'll keep N, T and blank. Well, still pretty unbalanced, only one vowel, but I think that's enough for me to play rather than change. Great, not a big start for opponent, and double great because I have a spot for Zag, 34 points, not giving much away. Anything better than this? Am I missing a bingo through the A or the U? So I would have the Zyger prefix, but I don't think there is anything with Z, G and B. I am playing this. Great, that looks a pretty balanced rack. No A or E, so not the bingo-y vowels, but I have the blank. And there could well be a 7 here. Okay, well, I have a butylon through the L. I definitely have a bingo. But do I have anything better than that? Actually, that's not bad. It gets the B doubled. It does place the A under this triple word square. So, where are the best lanes? There are no double-double lanes, no triple word square lanes apart from ZA. So that would begin ZA, not seeing anything there, or end ZA something. I don't think that's useful. So, what about a play through the I? Doesn't look promising. So it is the L. Let me see what a butylon looks like. Anagram of ablution, which doesn't fit. 76 points. I'm going with this. I'm providing a number of hotspots, but the Z has gone. And with 3 hotspots, the 2 triple letter squares and the triple word square, opponent is unlikely to use all of them. Wow, I draw the second blank. And again, it's accompanied by an absolute rack of dross. Just the I and the U as vowels. But is this a rack I should be changing with? As soon as I see the blank, I'm looking to bingo. But the problem with changing and bingoing, wow, interesting, opponent has the Q and not able to get it tripled. Maybe not surprising, the Q would need to be in last place for it to be tripled twice. Now the point I was making is that if one changes to try and make the rack a lot more bingo-y, you're scoring no points at all. And then if you bingo, what have you done? You've just averaged 30 or 40 points and you've burnt your blank. So can I get 20 or 30 points with this and do something about eating into F, U, V and W? Well, I do have Vor through the A of Talak. That's pretty lame, only 18 points. What about through the U? Tricky. No A or O to go in front of it. How about down through this O? Well, I could play WOF. Let me see what that looks like. That is 28 points, decent score. And although I'm not splitting up U and V, this isn't a terrible 5-letter set. WOF is stopping opponent from scoring in this spot. It still feels pretty bad. But this is better than Vor. Just. Yeah, I'm going with this. This is a fairly tight board. Nothing can go to the left of the Q. Row I, no double or triple word squares. So I'm happy for the board to remain tight while I'm resolving my rack. And Wolf took out quite a hot column in column 12. Now, I draw only consonants, so I'm grateful for the vowels that I have. Wow, nice bingo for opponent. 80 points, so I trail, but I have the blank. Gosh, so close to getting the K doubled in row H. I have a U for going up above the P, but I don't have any U something K plays. And I don't have anything great in column 8 either, which is frustrating. I would like to get rid of the U and the K. Well, it's KUV, which are the non-bingo-y tiles. Turk is good. Not seeing anywhere for that. Is there a bingo with this rack? It's possible, but I'm not seeing it. What a tricky rack. Any UK plays? No. Wow, I am really being hampered by everything. What am I going to do here? This is surely too good to change. So I could play Kraut through the A. This feels terrible, but it is better than changing. It's 18 points. Wow, there still is another V to come. I feel there's something better through the tiles of Paynims. Let me just spend a moment longer with this rack. Kraut didn't feel good. What about playing the V? I think that's the problem. The K is more bingo-y than the V. How about a play through the N? Just not seeing anything. Wow. Am I missing something really good? No, this feels terrible. But it's not. I am getting rid of 2 out of K, U and V. So 18 points. And I do draw the second V. I have convive on my rack, nowhere for it. Is there anything else? This feels a more... Well, is it more tractable? I'm not sure. I have Vivo and KO. I think with this rack I see light at the end of the tunnel. I can play Vivo through the eye of Paynims. Not seeing anything great with the K or in column 8. And row H not promising when you're trying to get rid of 2 V's and there are no 2-letter V words. Now I have convive. Wow, I have convived and convives through the N of Paynims. So having spotted convive with the blank as an N, there is actually a floating N. Gosh, that would have been a big miss. But is opponent going to block that? Row H, possibly the hottest spot if he's got a tile to go above the Y. But if he doesn't, I am back in business. I currently lead by 5 points. And that spot remains available. Fantastic. So here we go. Convived for 80. Bang! And I draw 6 consonants. So this is pretty unbalanced, but delighted to have gotten rid of 2 V's. in one fell swoop. And to take the lead, I have Hagden in column 3 through this A. That remains available, preserving my precious E. Interesting. Only 14 points for opponent, which suggests, given that he's played 3 vowels, that he just has got a lot of vowels, and as you can see, a lot of E's to come. And they're certainly not on my rack. So look at this, Hagden, 22 points, which is pretty low-ish. However, the rack leave is fairly good. I'm preserving the solitary vowel. Hagden gives nothing away, obstructs row H, obstructs the D of convived. D and G don't go great together. Ah, well, what about Hagged then? I think this is good. Slight doubt about it, but this is a much better rack leave, and it's a better score. Hagged for 24. Great, it is good. Glad I made that adjustment. Now, I draw one more vowel, but I'm not seeing a 7. I've got an S. We're going on the end of a butylon. Through an L, I would have bendlets, 2 L's to come. My lead, 67 points, so it's going to vanish with a bingo, but both blanks have gone, and only one S to come. Row N, quite hot with the D, but it's only hot in the sense that the D is a half-decent floater on a board with pretty much no floaters, but any bingo through that D is going to score face value and provide access to triple word squares, so it's not a dangerous floater. So, what am I going to do with this rack? I could play Deb and Bar, setting up a super hot column 2 play. Not great. I can play Neb in row B, slightly safer. Okay, great. Just 3 points for opponent, and look at this. He played 3 vowels the previous move. He's played 2 vowels this turn. He's also provided a floating E. Does that assist me? I don't think it does. But I'm coming back to this. How foolish is this? It's mightily foolish with the J to come. Jew has not yet been banned. We're playing with a full word list. So if opponent has the J and an A or an O, that's a monster. That's too much volatility to introduce. And likewise with bed because of JO plays. I would like to play Deb rather than Neb. D and S pull against each other. However, Nye takes a D. So let me come back to this. Neb, 25 points. All the G's have gone. Nothing else goes in front of NU. I could play Web, but I think that's keeping too many consonants, and there is an S to come. Nye is quite nice because if opponent bingos in column 14, he will be setting up column 15. It's if I can get the bingos for opponent in the penultimate rows or columns, that's always better for me, hanging on to my lead. I'm going with this. Wow. Well, hopefully opponent is drawing all the vowels, because I certainly am not. There are some floating vowels, the E of Nye and the I and E of convived. Not seeing anything there. Now, column 3, more interesting, because I can play deaf and far takes nothing in front of it, so opponent doesn't have a big column 2 play. Just coming back to this E, but I'm really not seeing a bingo through it. I have Delft on my rack, but I'm not in a hurry. Well, interesting. Delft is quite nice, is it? Yes and no. Let me see what this looks like. Rack leave decent. I've got an S. the downside is I'm creating a 7-letter lane, and although this looks like I'm creating access to this triple word square, I am only in terms of row H, not in terms of parallel plays, because there are 3 consecutive consonants. However, I'm not going to do that because, yeah, I don't wish to provide that row H spot with a J to come. And surely I have something in column 15. Tref for 33, and I must be due to draw some of these vowels. Let me count them. 17 out of 32. It is, despite opponents playing of vowels, he's played 7 of his last 8 tiles. There is still a vowel-heavy bag. And Tref is stopping opponent from scoring in column 15. I think that's the main point. Opponent could have played Prex in that spot, which Delft would not have blocked. Score is decent. It's consonant heavy, but if I draw consonants, it just makes the bag even more vowel heavy, which is to the detriment of opponent. I'm going with this. Am I? Is there a way of playing off one more consonant? I don't think so. Great. I draw a couple of vowels. Do I have a bingo through this E? Wow. And their opponent, he must be in a state of absolute misery. He's now played something like 9 out of 10 vowels in terms of his last plays. Absolutely hilarious. But what can I do with this rack? Well, through the E, there would be lip reads, pre-dials. Is there another? Spiraled, pass lead. And there's another, Pedrails. Pedrails goes! Unbelievable. So often the case, the final bingo is the one that goes. Gosh. I knew there were 5 anagrams. And it was the 5th one which goes. 64 points. 7 minutes on my clock. Remaining tiles fairly bingo-y, but peppered with high-scoring tiles. Are there any other... Let me put this back. I have 7 minutes. Are there any other lanes? I, E, D? No, I think the O doesn't help. It's got to be here, but Pedrails, fantastic for 64. And that is a good pickup. Pretty balanced, pretty bingo-y. Opponent could be coming back with a bingo of his own. He surely is not sitting on 7 vowels. I drew the P, so Prex no longer available. What to do here? Is there a bingo? Quite a few floaters. I take that back, not many floaters. L and S, not seeing anything. D, no. E, no. I missed a beautiful bingo yesterday. Actually, the word is not remotely beautiful, but it had a beautiful score, over 100 points, unformed. And I was really mulling over that miss after the game, and I decided it was because I considered form as a prefix or a suffix rather than being something that could be in the middle of a word. But that's the best I could come up with. Great, just 18 points for the X. Fantastic. Opponent is on the ropes. He trails by 130, only 11 tiles left, 6 minutes on my clock. So I'm immediately drawn to this X. Do I have a play with it? I do. I have Detox, which is really nice because it scores well. It takes out the X. It takes out row H as a triple word lane. It takes out the bottom right triple word spot. There's no G for detoxing. And it kills Al, so this does absolutely everything. Detox for 39. And pretty good. Through an E, I would have Redreamt. E of Convived, not available. Mortared is good. That doesn't work with the O of O. What about the I? Is that available? Only for a 9-letter play ending in L. Column 10, plays beginning GU, 9-letter plays. I don't have one of those. Opponent does have the O's, so not a great day for him. Now Lou takes an A in front, so if I had an ANU something T play, well, I don't because there aren't any. So 5 minutes on my clock. What to do? 4 tiles left, so I'm thinking play off 3, leave 1 in the bag. Are there any words ending in 6? Don't think so. I don't think there's anything I need to particularly kill. It's annoying. I keep being drawn to column 3. It's an easy 20-point play, but it's just setting up this wretched J or indeed the H. Yeah, all of the constants which go next to the A that I have take a left hook, and that's the problem. 4 minutes on my clock. I am not seeing any good scoring spots, so I have no candidate plays at the moment. What to do? Well, I could play draw. No, I don't like that. I think I need to focus on column 3 at the top because opponent could play his J there. He could play Raj. Interesting. So maybe I just need to accept that he could have the J and play JO. He's not going to win the game. I may draw the J. If he had the J, opponent would probably have played it, and last turn he only played off 3 tiles. Yeah, so he's unlikely to have the J. That must be the right conclusion. When he played Lou, there were 7 tiles in the bag. He probably didn't have the J. So he drew 3 from 7, so, well. Okay, I am going with this. He has the J, probably. Now, what do I have here? Quite a nice rack. Yep, that's exactly what I thought might happen. However, if I hadn't played that, opponent could have just played JOE. Agreed for fewer points, but it's a probabilities game, and opponent was not favourite to have the J. So bag is empty. Can opponent go out? He can play Diner. What else does he have? Well, possibly only Diner. I'm not seeing a bingo beginning GU or with E or D. So Eve is good. So does DUH? No, opponent could then play urine. 2 minutes on my clock. Do I have a play ending in L? No, I don't. What about L something O? No. Homer is good. Well, I think I'll just play up here and just get a half decent score. So I think opponent will go out, but that's 21 points. He will surely go out. I'm still completely unsure about the Ram play, but we'll see what other candidates were available. And the final score, 345 for my opponent, 465 for me, a winning margin of 120 points, so a huge, huge win. Let's see what I missed. What a game. So it was me to go first, and I had this horror show. I changed, and burning the blank for 20 points with this rack leave, definitely not as good. Opponent plays IU, and Byzant available through the Y. Quite nice. But I prefer Zag. It gives less away, and the rack leaves aren't far apart. Horrible rack for opponent. Plays Lins. And now I play a Butylon. Botulin's also available. C7. Okay. That has the merit of not taking an S at the end. And bolting, so only the 3 bingos. I thought there would be more. Opponent's rack plays Talak. And what do? I play WOF for 28. And nothing obviously better. Great spot by opponent, Paynims. And that took opponent into the lead. But a lot of time left, a lot of tiles left rather, and I have the blank. And this was a rack I absolutely struggled with. Wow, kit, but that keeps U and V. What do? I play Kraut for a lot fewer points. Well, this is interesting. Having said V and U are so terrible, does the rack leave of blank IV, is that rack leave 12 points better than the value of blank RUV? I would say yes, so let's start with the worst one. Blank's 25, the R helps it up to about 30. U drags it back to the low 20s. And V must drag it right back to the low teens, I would say, so possibly a value of plus 12 for that. I find that very hard to value. But blank IV, I would say, yeah, I'm not sure that's terribly damaged at all. Probably 23, 24. So, yeah, I would say there is about a 10-point difference in rack leaves, 10 to 12-point difference, and that's the score difference. So I'm happy with Kraut. Whoops. Opponent's rack plays Whack. And now, here we go. Look at this. Just the 2 bingos playable, and always great fun to play a bingo with 2 Vs because they are such unbingo-y tiles individually, and even more so when they're together. Now, let the fun begin. Opponent's racks for the next few moves should lift everybody's heart. So look at this, 6 vowels. Opponent plays Eve. I play Hagged, but M1. Oh, wow. Look at this. I could have played Hedged through this E for a much bigger score, and I should have done. So, opponent's still got 5 vowels. Plays Nye. What do I do here? I play Neb for 25, A14. Interesting, bested. That would have been nice, 45 points, and giving very little away and taking out lanes, so I should have done that. Opponent down to 4 vowels, far more manageable. Plays Weir. And what do I do here? Ah, the F can go on the end of Nye. It's not just the D and the S, so Deft was playable. And I played Treff for 33, and I like that. It's far less, it's far more dampening the board down in terms of opponent's bingo prospects. And I have a 100-point lead, but a bingo would massively eat into that. So opponent's rack looking a little more bingo-y. Doesn't have one, plays Oo. And I have Pedrails, and that's the only bingo, so delighted to spot that. Opponent has Elixirs, nowhere for it. Plays 6. And now here we go, 11 tiles left, and I think this is the move which kills the game. I didn't see Dextro, however, I prefer Detox because Dextro places an R in row N, and even if opponent is too far behind to win, once one is winning, the aim is to win with the largest margin. So I like Detox. Still no bingo for opponent, plays Lou. And this is where I make a pretty poor play. Teardrop looks good, but it empties the bag. I'd rather play off just the 3. F14, deer. Yeah, but I could have, well, I wouldn't want to play both vowels, but I could have played day. And deer plays 4 tiles. So I'm looking down here for something which plays just 3 tiles, so 4 tiles in the rack leave. A3 dam, that was my play. Day uses all the vowels. L2 dam. Well, that also provides access to row O, so nothing obviously better than ram. And now opponent has a 50-point play. And my rack, what do I do here? I play Hugh for 21, K2. Yeah, AHED would definitely have been better. And finally, opponent goes out with Rhine for 19. So, what a game. Absolutely amazing stuff. Delighted to have a bingo with 2 Vs. Super close throughout the game until the point when I got Pedrails down. And opponent played 6 and Detox then killed the game completely. So, very challenging game for the first half. I had some racks with right at the beginning with blanks and very unbingoy selections, and the choice was to change, and if not to change, what to play, and it was the what to play which was particularly troubling. So jolly good to have the opportunity to battle with those racks. Many thanks to my opponent for a good battle. I hope you enjoyed watching that game, and I will see you next time.